Welcome, 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 you guys. This is Miss V with the Barber T podcast. You guys, I am so excited that you are tuned in. We have some amazing topics that we're going to talk about in the barber industry. This podcast is designed to elevate the industry, to inform the industry, and hopefully inspire the industry. So you guys stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome again to the Miss V with the Barber T podcast. I have some amazing guests here with me today. They're here for my very first podcast, and I had to bring in two of my favorites and two of the clutch masters. So we have Drea here, Drea Fades, and then we also have Terrell. And Terrell, I always forget your last name. Is it Boone?
Binion.
Binion.
Yeah.
Binion. I was going to mess it up, so I'm glad I didn't, put it in there. But you guys, yeah, thank you so much for joining here today. So we're just going to talk and we're going to relax. But one of the things I really want us to do is just really talk about the industry, what's happening. I want all the barber tea. So when we talk about the tea, we're actually just talking about the industry as a whole. So first, I want you guys to go ahead. I got to hand it over to you. This woman, she does everything. She's out there really giving this business her all. I love her energy. I love her enthusiasm about the industry. But what I love more is her work ethic about this industry. So I'm not going to brag on her. I'm going to let her brag on herself. So let me introduce you to Drea.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I am Fades by Dre, and I'm a barber in Dallas. I've been in Dallas for about a year and a half, and I've been a barber for about 3 years. So I did a complete switch. I used to work for the state, and then I decided that I didn't want to work for somebody my whole life. So I went into business for myself, and yeah, I decided to be a barber. So here we are. Dallas has been great to me. I have found different avenues with marketing, with networking, and all centered around barbering. And I'm always able to give back also. That's what I'm really big on, using your purpose to give back. That's what, God gives you your purpose and you have to serve others for it. So that's what I'm really big on. So.
Wow. I had no idea that you have been a barber for only 3 years.
Yes.
That is
everybody says that. Everybody's like
amazing.
Yeah,
I don't, that blows my mind because it had to be 2 years ago that I met you. So you were just getting into the industry.
Yes.
So that's absolutely amazing. But before we get into any deeper conversation, we gotta this guy, I just absolutely take my hat off to him because he's helped me with my business. He helped me get influencers into the store over at Clutch Barber Supply. He's a man of his word, and I like that about him. He's just a straight shooter, and he works very hard in this industry. So let me not brag on you anymore. Let me give it to Terrell.
Man, thanks for having me, Ms. V. Anytime that, you've always called on me, I've always been able to be there because you've given me a platform here in Dallas, being a person from a whole nother state. I moved here from Chicago. This April will be 8 years.
Wow.
And when I originally moved here, the crazy thing is I moved here to be Arlington police.
Wow.
And while I was in the process of doing that, I took a job working for APS, where I was an in-home case manager, investigator, and, kind of like Drea, I decided that, I wanted to do something else because I just felt like the job was draining me, but I wasn't given everything that I could give. So I decided to go back to barbering because I've been cutting hair since I was about 13 years old. I started off cutting myself because we couldn't afford to go to the barber shop as much as I would like to go. So, you know, from high school all the way through college, I always cut in the locker rooms and stuff like that. A lot of my teammates, we still laugh and joke because when they come through Dallas, they always still stop and get a haircut because they always say we a long way from the locker room.
Wow.
So, you know, as far as like cutting professionally, I say I've given the industry close to about 15 years. And throughout my 15 years, I had a lot of growth. I learned a lot from a lot of barbers that when I originated from Chicago up into barbers that I've met through social media and have met in the city of Dallas. So I just feel that, you know, with me, when people ask what my cutting style is and my method, it's like a combination of everybody that I've interacted with.
Wow. That's very strong. You guys are just amazing. You know, to come into a new market and rebuild and find yourself and find your home in the barber industry. I would say that since I have been in this industry as opening up Clutch Barber Supply, um, what it has brought to my attention is the strength, and I think more of the opinion of who a barber is has now changed.
Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful thing that we're not looking at, you know, years ago, it's just always, to me, just in my opinion, negative connotation with barbers. You know, they're not educated or they're out of, you know, jail or, you know, whatever that background could have been. It has changed where you have now have barbers that are making substantial money, that are able to take care of their families, buy homes, drive the best cars, and all of this. And so now it's one of the fastest growing industries out there. It's the barber industry.
Yeah.
I have young people that come into the store 12 or 13 years old to buy clippers because they said, I'm going to be a barber. You know, they may have become inspired, you know, from their barber themselves, you know, being there. So I think the industry has changed so much, and I have fallen in love with it. Even though I've been in the hair care industry for years, this barber segment, man, I feel like I found my home. I really love it. And that's why I like to give back in the way that I do, whether it's honoring you guys, you know, as Clutch Masters, or now putting on the first Barber Award show here with the Barber Choice Awards. So it's just my way of giving back to the community that has now helped me build something to take care of my lifestyle or take care of my home, you know, that sort of thing. So with you, Drea, being new to the industry, not even realizing that you were so a baby, you're rookie in this still.
I am.
So what is it that really made you say barbering? Because see, you transitioned in terms of careers, right? And you used to work for the government, but what made you say barbering is it for you? What, you know, made you fall in love with it?
So when I first picked up clippers was during the pandemic, and I cut my son's hair just because of everything that was going on. And I lived in a small town, and I never really fit in a small town. I was always bored, and I just felt like with my job, working for the state really caps you, and the state is very crooked in a lot of things that it does, and it just
Draining.
didn't. And it's draining. Yeah, it didn't sit well with my heart to be doing. I worked with CPS, juvenile probation, TDCJ, and it was
Okay.
just so when I cut my son's hair, and it came out pretty good, and that was my first time, so I was like, I might have something here. So then I started researching everything, researching people, different influencers, watching YouTube videos, and when I get my mind set to something, I'm going to do it. So I said, you
Wow.
know what? So I went to go visit a barber school my next day off, and they were just so excited about, you know, we should just sign you on. We don't have a lot of females. We would really love to get like somebody who's ready to just go all in. And So that's when I ended up, I worked out what I could and I said, I think I can go full force. So I think what really inspired me to do it was just being able to leave something for my kids and being able to fit. When I looked at it, I saw a way to get out of the town I was in, to show my kids something more and to leave something for my kids. I just
Wow.
felt like I'm their prime example and I don't want them to work for somebody their whole life. I want them to know that you can, move to a city, don't be scared, you can start over, you can do all of this.
Wow.
So that was my main drive, like my main force, to seeing the potential of what I could do and seeing that I already had it. I just had to enhance it, I guess.
Wow.
And so that was really, really just my kids, my family.
Kids,
So.
family. And I know,
That's
Terrell,
right.
I know you're big on family. You're real
Yeah.
big on your kids, and so tell me a little bit more of how this industry has inspired you. Your numbers are great in social media. You've done
Yeah.
an excellent job. That's how I found you. As a
Appreciate
matter of fact, you competed in a contest probably about 3 or 4 years ago
Man.
that we had going on, and that's that when I came to give you a winning clipper. I think
Yep.
it was the first time
Yep.
that I met you. But in my process, in our journey of getting to know each other, and you becoming a clutch master, I've learned. I met your beautiful wife, absolutely gorgeous
I
woman, and
did
she's
good with that
very
one.
she's very supportive of you. But I always hear you talking about your kids, the family, and doing the right thing for them. So how has this industry worked for you, and even in balancing your career
Man,
and family?
the balance part is still working itself out a little bit.
I second
Because
that.
even though, I feel like, well, not that I feel that from where I started in this industry in Dallas, man, about 6 or 7 years ago, to where it is now, clientele is consistent, but I still feel the need that it's another level that I need to get to. So with that, trying to gain and get to that other level, the balancing in my house is not always the best. So it's like sometimes what the one thing that kind of makes me kind of feel bad a little bit is that my son has games on Saturdays because he plays basketball, and on Saturdays my son understands that dad's not going to be at the game, but mom is. So it's just one of those things where I try to be the dad for my kids that I wish my dad were for me. My dad was a good dad in the aspects of providing and things like of that nature, but as far as like being that emotional component that men are not normally known for, I try to be that for my kids, because when you look at the youth today, the youth are more emotional now. So it's like, and what we have to do with our young men, young ladies are taught to express their feelings and everything, but young men are not taught that. So what I try to do with my son especially is that give him a safe space that, hey, even though you're growing up as a young man, it's okay to express yourself and you're not looked at as being soft for doing that.
Wow. That's powerful. That's powerful. I've always seen that with you when you're always talking about balancing and, cutting and trying to get kids from A to B. And I'm sure you deal with that as a mother also, because our careers are what drives us, right? But our careers is what keep bread in the cabinet and
Keep the
milk
lights
in the
on.
refrigerator. Keep the lights on. Make it simple, right? It is. So it does take a lot. I'm glad that I'm a little bit more seasoned, and I don't worry about that part as much. But I remember being in corporate America, and I used to travel every single week. I was on the airplane going somewhere, and I remember those guilty times. You feel guilty for missing an opportunity to watch your child play something or be there for them. But I think in retrospect, and one of the things that you touched on is allowing him to express himself. That lets them know that you're there, and you're not always physically there, but you're emotionally there for them,
Yeah.
and helping them to build something, but also being that great example for our kids and for our family.
Yeah, because I mean, in a minute, the children are gonna be they're gonna be older. So it's
Yeah.
like when you're a little late when you're trying to be there for them when they're 13, and it's like you miss from 0 to 13. So it's like, and then when the kids like when they look at you, they're kind of like looking at you like, dude, you're a little late.
Right.
Because especially with today's kids, they're very vocal.
Right,
Mhm.
right. I will agree.
Mhm.
So we've talked about family, you guys. We've talked about how this industry, how you've gotten into this industry, and some of where you're headed. I want to know a little bit more about what you touched on a little bit. Is that you feel like your purpose is a little bit more.
Mhm.
Speak to me a little bit more about like where you see yourself growing or how you want to elevate in this industry?
I see myself growing more towards education because it's more to being a barber than just picking up the clippers and giving a good fade. I think that, it's a few barbers that like two barbers that I name drop that I follow and they're very inspiring for me. Well, actually three. Smash is very inspiring to me, and I've had personal conversations with him, and I got to get a little deeper in his mind. And it's more than just cutting hair with him. Cole Cuts Brand down in Houston,
Yeah.
very good dude. He
Yeah.
drops gems. But the barber that really taught me about balancing and everything was Tariq Jackson. And when I first moved here, I had to go re-enroll in barber school to get my license at Texas Barber College on in Oak Cliff on Lancaster and Ledbetter. And every Tuesday, we were supposed to be in theory, but I was tuned in to Tariq Talk Tuesdays. So
Oh.
by his little gems and lessons and things like that, I applied them and they actually work. So basically, what I do when people ask me for gems and things like that, I can just tell them what I did, how I applied it, and how they can work. It may work for them. So,
Wow.
I was giving one of my clients, he was asking about saving money because that's one thing, like as barbers within this industry, a lot of us, we spend money as fast as we make it.
Mhm.
So I remember when I first started cutting, my goal was to buy a house. I saved $25 a week. No matter what, that was my salary to myself. I put that away and
Mhm.
it grew from 25 to 50, 55. But by the time I was able to buy my house, I looked up and I had over about $15,000
Wow.
that I saved. And I said, man, this all started from just saving $25.
Wow.
Mhm.
And I passed that along to anybody that, most of my clients that's sitting in my chair, I passed that along to them. And one of my clients shared with me last week, my value to him is more than just me cutting his hair because he enjoys coming to get a haircut because he picks my brain.
Wow.
And he always told me, he say, some of the stuff that you giving me, you should be charging people for this. But I said, it's just me sharing my life experiences. So if my life experiences, good or bad, can help someone else and not go down that same road, I feel like I've served my purpose.
You'd
Wow.
be surprised how they see it as an experience. I hear that all the time that it's not just the cut,
Yep.
it's more of the experience that you give them. And I think that's become huge in our industry. We influence people in so many different ways.
Wow.
So,
Sometimes it's like you're a therapist.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just like that. Sometimes, depending on your age, can be that mother figure or father
Mhm.
figure, or that, auntie or uncle, or just someone that they can just release and just because sometimes people share things with you that they may not share with someone
Most
that's close to
definitely.
them because they know that you don't know them like that. So you don't have an opinion of who they are and what they represent, and they can, just be able to clear themselves and express themselves. So I think that's really powerful. I think that sometimes barbers don't, really realize the power that they have in their clipper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the power is so much more than that clipper or that chair, is that connection. And you know
Yeah.
that when you're building a good business and you have those books filled, it's because you built an awesome connection.
And that's what I tell barbers all the time, that they need to do the work too. It's not just about making that money all the time. I do events all the time for youth, and I always leave feeling just refreshed, and it's always comes back to me full circle, always. And so I've been blessed, and I think it's just because of the work that we put out also.
Wow, that's powerful, you guys. Thank you so much for this segment of the Miss V with the Barber Tea. You guys, this is just really amazing to sit down with these talented barbers, but to get connected on a whole nother level is, worth its weight. It's worth its weight. And I'm really impressed with you guys. You guys bring a lot, and we appreciate that. Now we're going to go to a quick commercial, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Miss V with the Barber Tea podcast. You guys, we just wrapped up a previous talk with our great guest here. It was absolutely wonderful. But we're going to get into a little bit more about this industry. Let's talk about some of these clippers and what's going on right now in the industry. So tell me, you guys. I just want to know, like, your go-to clipper. You only get one. You don't get a choice. I want to know your go-to clipper. What's yours?
My Gamma Ergos right now.
Wow. Okay.
I love me some Gamma right now.
Okay.
Just
Terrell,
clipper
yours.
and this master.
And this master. Okay, because you need that power.
That's my second.
My second. Well, like for me, I've tried all the others, but nothing fades all textures of hair for me better than the Andis Master.
Wow. Okay. So now trimmer, because we know that the industry has like changed so much in the last, I'm going to say 5 years for sure, that there's a new clipper and trimmer out every other week now.
I was going to say more like every day.
Right. I mean, it's so much new stuff. It's absolutely amazing. But some of these companies are really proving themselves and are really putting out some good product. And so when it comes to trimmers, what is your number one trimmer?
The Babyliss Gold Effects.
Okay.
I still have the same pair that the same trimmer that I've had since barber school. I changed out the blade, but it's still going strong. So that is a lot to say. So my Gold Effects, hands down.
For me, it's the Babyliss Snap Effects.
Snap. Okay. Those are really the same. They both have the same blade on them. So they have what we call the 707Z.
Yep.
It's that original fine blade, and that's like the number one. And when I first got into this industry, it was the T outliner that was the number one trimmer. But now Babyliss Gold FX is number one, but Babyliss period, because they have many a lot of varieties when it comes to their FX, different colors and different blades, but the gold one is definitely number one. You guys selected the number one. Period.
There's a reason.
And you know what we have today? We have their new stuff that just came out. This is the new, what is it? The FX one. So this is the one that you have the snap-in battery for on the, this is the new shaver, and then they have the new clipper. So Babyliss and, to me, Gamma, Stylecraft are continuously coming out with new stuff each and every, I won't say day, but I will say week.
I was going to say,
but that's
at least every other week.
Yeah, yes. But that's the one thing that I really enjoy about like the companies like Babyliss. They started off, being innovative and, partnering with, like all the influencers that they have. They've extended their reach out to basically every demographic of people. So they've cornered the market, and their products work multiculturally.
Yes.
So, Gamma came on the scene, and, they have a great product as well. So it's like, Andis is kind of, they were stuck. It seemed like they were stuck in their ways, but it seems like they're evolving as well now. They're becoming more innovative, because I'm very pleased with the Cordless Master, because I just received from Anders the newer cordless master, a lot quieter, and it's still, but the precision of the cut is still the same.
Mhm.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful.
That's the thing. I feel like sometimes when they tweak things, it tweaks something else that you really liked about the other clipper. So, but I have the gold masters
Mhm.
and I love them too. They're
Okay.
they're clean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys know what we know now, what clipper you love and what trimmer you love. And what I want to get into is both of you guys have been nominated for Barber Choice Awards.
Oh, really? Man, I ain't.
We couldn't post all of them, but how does it make you feel that you've been nominated?
I am so excited and I feel like Selena. I'm so me siento muy excited. No. but I just feel like everything's coming full circle because I've worked so hard to just be able to, I guess, make it when I came to Dallas, because I told myself there's so many barbers out here. Like, how am I going to stand out? How am I going to be seen? Like, I can put in this work, the sacrifices that I've done, and how am I going to be seen? So this is showing me that I'm doing something right and
Right.
that I'm doing what I need to do in the right direction. So I'm just honored. And I've always really been honored by being recognized by your company, because I've always felt like what you do is so genuine. There's not any greed behind it. You really just want to show us our value. And so when someone like that honors you, it comes, and the city that you're actually doing the work in, it just hits different. So
Wow.
I'm very honored.
And like for me, out of all my barbering I've done here in Dallas, one of the most humbling things that happened for me was being awarded being a clutch master.
Wow.
And because like you, Drea, coming from a whole nother state, coming here, and just looking at the barbers who were, well, I'm not gonna say were, because they still are, at the top of the food chain for barbering, to even be mentioned in the same breath as those individuals, because it's some females and males. So to be mentioned in the same breath as those individuals is humbling, because you're recognized for what you do. Because like what you always say, Ms. V, no matter what you do, somebody is always watching.
Yeah.
And it only takes a matter of time before you can get recognized for what you do.
Wow. You guys, as long as I've been in this industry, and I've been in the barber industry now almost 8 years, and we've had the store for 2.5 years, but I always look back and say my most proud moment was the Clutch Masters event that we did last year, and it was so I felt meaningful to you guys, that was one of the reasons that I said I wanted to take it up a notch and really honor barbers. I feel like if that's my calling, yes, I'm a business owner. I own Clutch Barber Supply. That's all wonderful, but I believe that who I am supposed to be in this industry is really someone to help elevate barbers in the industry. And that's one of the reasons why, one, we did the Clutch Masters, two, now we're doing the Barber Choice Awards. We left it for just Texas market. I didn't want to open it up to the whole universe yet, but I just really wanted to honor. I wanted to honor you guys. I see barbers that work so hard at their game, not just at being a wonderful barber in terms of precision cuts, but being a mother or a father, business owners, doing everything in the industry that you really set your own schedule. Your success is really determined by you in this industry. No one makes you successful as a barber. Your tenacity, your stick to itness, your just staying the course is what makes you successful in this industry. So if you were to pick 3 words to motivate or inspire new barbers, give me 3 of your top words that you think will help make them successful in this industry.
Consistency. I drive that home, because if you cannot be consistent, you will never grow. You have to have faith, because you're going to have days where you cut one head and you go home with like $20-$40.
Right.
And so you definitely have to have faith in yourself, and enough to keep going and showing up every single day. Discipline. You have to be disciplined enough to put all of those things into play. If you are not disciplined, you could have a full schedule. You could have a bunch of people that want to get cut with you. But if you choose, to do the partying every night, and it's fast money. So you really have to be disciplined in how to manage your money, manage your schedule, manage your clients. And I think those 3 things are very important.
Wow. Okay. And you, Terrell?
So
3.
for me, the first thing is work ethic. And what I mean by work ethic is, to your point, Drea, you may only cut one head a day, but if you start at work at noon, you've already missed 5 hours. So, when you're trying to build clientele, you got to be the first. You got to open the shop, and you have to close the shop.
You have to close
because, like for me, I didn't start off in the open floor shop. I rolled the dice and took a gamble on myself and went and got a suite.
Wow.
I don't recommend that for everybody.
Right.
But and the reason why I did that is because, as much as I like being around people, I'm kind of like a loner. I stay to myself. But the main reason I did a suite is because I wanted to create and control my environment.
Wow.
So with that work ethic, as building clientele, I would start at 7 a.m. and sometimes when I was getting started, I didn't leave at sometimes midnight.
Wow.
And, the second thing would be, another word from you, Drea, consistency. A lot of my clients, they like coming to me because I don't cut their hair the first time to reel them in. And then as we continue to keep cutting, the haircut slacks off. I give them the same product every time because, like, for me, I don't care how many times I've cut your hair. In my mind, I'm in competition with myself. So I'm trying to outcut what I did the last time, because my goal for every client is, I don't care if you pumping gas or you in the gas station. I want them to ask you who cut your hair in a positive way, because that brings clientele, because the best clientele building is word of mouth. We can all do social media, but when those clients walk out the door and someone asks them who cut their hair, whatever they paid you, it makes them feel like it's well worth it.
Wow.
So being consistent. The third thing, not saying it's last on the list, but you got to have faith. You got to believe in, and I like to do like faith/confidence, because you have to believe in the product that you're selling.
Right.
And if you don't believe in it, how do you expect somebody else to?
Right. That's powerful, because what you're really saying is that you have to believe in yourself.
I tell my son that every day.
Yeah, that's amazing, you guys. This has been a wonderful talk with a few of the Dallas finest in the industry, our clutch masters, but just professional barbers. I don't think the industry realize that enough, is that this is, we often talk about corporate America, but this is corporate barbering. This is corporate men's grooming industry, because, sometimes you may report to or have a manager or a shop owner that you report to. You may have a suite, for yourself, but this is all about structuring your life to be a professional in the industry. This is all about, yes, I may not work a typical 9 to 5, but I work 8 to 10, 12 hours somewhere.
We put in those
every
hours.
single day.
It's 40
and
plus
I have
all the
to show up
Yep.
Because if I don't show up, I don't make any money.
Yeah.
That's
We
just
don't
the
have
bottom
sick
line.
days.
And I think
Right,
like
no
if
PTO either.
people
No
can take
PTO.
take that understanding, take those nuggets, and know that you guys can do this with consistency, with discipline. You know what I mean? With
Yep.
being responsible and showing up. Showing up, being that first one there.
Yep.
That's going to mean a lot. I know that a lot of the young people out there are going to get some good nuggets from listening to you guys today. So I really appreciate you guys showing up and showing out and putting your best foot forward for my first podcast, Miss
Yes.
V with the Barber T podcast. You guys, thank you so much. And you know what? I cannot miss without you guys being able to tell people where can they find you.
All right. So you can find me on all social platforms. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I'm most active on Instagram. It's Fades by Dre, Fades XDRE. And my booking there's a link on there for booking also. You can book through Booksy or just shoot me a DM. And I cut about 3 minutes from downtown. So pretty much downtown Dallas.
Okay.
Well, you can find me. I'm right out here in Arlington, Texas. I'm most actively on Instagram. My Instagram is diamond_life. Life is spelled LYFE _cuts KUTZ. I did that to keep it unique. And all my booking information is on Instagram. But if you don't have Instagram, you can also do booking for all product services on www.diamondlifecuts.com.
All right, you guys, we're going to wrap it up, but I don't want to end it without saying that you can go to Clutch Barber Supply for any of your barber supply needs, but also you can follow us at Clutch Barber Supply and also at Barber Choice Awards. We want to see you at the first Barber Choice Awards happening December the 10th. You guys, this is a wrap with Miss V here with the Barber T podcast. Thank you.